One dimension of a cube is increased by 1 inch to form a rectangular block. Suppose that the volume of the new block is 12 cubic inches. Find the length of an edge of the original cube. So let's start with letting x is equal to the edge of a cube, since we are looking for the edge of a cube. Then it follows that x plus 1 will be the length of this edge right here. So this is x added by 1, and this is the length of the rectangular block, which is represented by x plus 1. Now, recall that to find the volume, we will just simply multiply the three dimensions, that is length times width times height. And we can get the volume, which is in this case, our volume is 12. So by substitution, multiplying the three dimensions, so x times x plus 1, so it is supposed to be equal to 12. So if we're going to simplify this, x times x, that is x squared, then distribute x squared to each of these terms, x squared times x, that is x cubed, x squared times positive 1, that is x squared. Then we're going to express this in its standard form, and that is by adding negative 12 in each side of the equation, because we want the right side to become 0. And this will be our standard form, x cubed plus x squared minus 12 equals 0. And this will serve as our working equation. So from here, we're going to solve for x. And that x is the edge of the original cube. Now, we're going to use the rational root theorem in order for us to find the possible values of x, or the possible rational root. So we can start by listing down the p, or the constant of our given, which is negative 12. So the factors are plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3, plus minus 4, plus minus 6, plus minus 12. Then for the q, which is the leading coefficient, and in this case it is 1 right here. So the factors of 1 are positive 1 and negative 1. Now, in order for us to get its zeros, or the lists, or all possible lists of zeros, we're going to get the ratio of p and q. So just simply divide them, p divided by q. So by dividing them, we can get the possible rational zeros, and these are plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3, plus minus 4, plus minus 6, and plus minus 12. This tells us that one of these zeros is the value of x. So how are we going to identify it? We're going to test each of them in order for us to identify the value of x, which is the length of the cube. Now, we're going to test it one by one using synthetic division. So let's get started. So we're going to write the numerical coefficient of our given here. So the numerical coefficient of x cubed is 1. Numerical coefficient of x squared is 1. Then notice that we have a missing term here, so that is represented by 0. And lastly, negative 12. Now, we will start testing the positive 1, and this will serve as our number indicator. So let's start the synthetic division. Bring down 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. Since the remainder is not 0, therefore 1. This number indicator here is not one of the solution, or not the solution of x. Let's try negative 1. So bring down 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Negative 1 plus 0 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 1 times 0 is 0. Negative 12 plus 0 is negative 12. Again, it is not a 0. The remainder is not 0. Therefore, negative 1 is not a solution. Let's try positive 2. So bring down 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 0 plus 6 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Negative 12 plus 12 is 0. Finally, so since the remainder is 0, it means that 2 is one of the values of x. So we're going to keep on repeating this in order for us to identify if there are other possible values of x aside from 2. So we're going to test each of them, all of them. But from here, we can actually use the discriminant in order for us to identify if are there still other values of x. So from our quotient here, 136, so that is x squared, 1x squared, times 3x plus 3x plus 6. So using the discriminant, we will just write down the a, which is 1, our b here is 3, and our c here is 6. So using the discriminant, by substitution, we can get 3 squared is 9, negative 4 times 1 times 6 is negative 24, and 9 minus 24 is negative 15. Recall that if the discriminant is less than 0, or if it is negative, this tells us that it has no real roots. Therefore, this given right here, it has no real roots. So it means that only 2 is the real root. So therefore, we cannot find any other values of x. So the only value of x is positive 2. Therefore, the length of an edge of the original cube is 2 inches.